Welcome to Fair and Square. This is a weekly program in which we square up and square with famous public personalities. Our guest today is Mr. K.P.S. Gill, the former Director General of Police Punjab and a foremost expert on terrorism in the country. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gill. Mr. Gill, now the hockey defeat in the Commonwealth final was a very big setback. Do you think it is the end of the road for Indian hockey, or is there scope for recovery and revival?
Now a pattern seems to be emerging. The pattern which came out in the Commonwealth Games, which emerges in the way Kalmadi tried to run sport in this country. When we were coming up, there was a tremendous propaganda and simultaneous court cases to ensure that we get stymied.
That is the Indian Hockey Federation.
Indian Hockey Federation. At that time, Mr. Gill, M.S. Gill had become the minister, which again was an unfortunate event in the history of sports in this country. So these two gentlemen, they were quite hunky-dory at that time. They decided to finish Indian Hockey Federation, an 80-year-old organization which had got 8 gold medals for the country, and set up a thing known as Hockey India, which I call Hoax India, which was composed mainly of the derelict people who call themselves the Olympic movement in this country.
But I thought they are the ones who are recognized by the International Hockey Federation.
Yes, that was that the then president of the International Hockey Federation was part and parcel of this whole conspiracy which took place.
You got reprieve from the Delhi High Court. So do you think this issue will be resolved in the coming days now, especially after this defeat?
No, I don't think so.
Some people feel that in 2003 and 4, the Indian hockey was almost at its best, and it kind of the team was looking very good, and then you made certain changes which now in hindsight do you think those could have been avoided?
No. The changes were made in 98, not in 2003
no,
or
in 2003-4 the coach was changed, and some other changes came up.
No, 2004 Olympics. Unfortunately, the first match we played against Australia, which I still think about many times. About 30-40 seconds to go, we were 2-all with Australia. The same Australia we are.
That's right.
Losing
we lost 8-0 now.
And the Australians were shaken. They didn't know what was happening. And a shot from outside the D, 30-40 seconds before the match was to end, a shot from outside the D into the Australian goal was given to us. And because that is something we had planned for, which we had rehearsed.
It was as per the game plan.
And Sandeep was to take that shot because he was the best person to do it. He is coming up. Then Gagan Ajit, he was a youngster at that time, gets very excited. With just one man in the D, he takes the shot. So naturally there were 10 Australians in the D. They take the ball away. And our boys are running. Suddenly the ball goes past them and they score a goal.
We are moving towards the Asian Games now.
You see,
by that time anything positive will come up?
No.
A lot of people feel that since you've been at the helm of affairs for a long time, I think you yourself need to share some of the blame for where the hockey today is.
I have left, IHF has not been there for the last 3 years.
So for whatever is happening now, you have...
how can you say?
You can't be blamed for it.
3 years, nothing has happened. The same team, the same boys.
But this is...
Some boys we had discarded or brought back. They should not be in the team. 5 of the people who are in the team today should not be there.
So what future for Indian hockey do you see, Mr. Gill?
Future for Indian hockey is we have again started the youth program. After 4 years we had the junior nationals, and the highest participation.
So maybe in the coming years we can hope for something.
What we are planning, the IHF is planning, that we must have our own academy. The SAI Sports Authority of India is unaccountable.
So where do you plan to have this academy?
We are looking for place. My original idea was to have it in or around Chandigarh, or we put up in Punjab. But Punjab governance is a very strange phenomena. If you put up something, whether it will remain there or whether somebody will grab it, is very difficult to say.
Well, I hope if it happens in Chandigarh, it will do a lot of good for Chandigarh. I want to take you back to the time you were born in Lahore, and you were about 13 years old when the partition took place.
Yeah.
What memories do you have of that time?
Well, I was in, my father was posted in Lahore, and actually he was at that time connected with some work which was going on in Gurgaon. And Lahore was his headquarters then. So we were staying in the model town, and suddenly all this,
The violence started.
The violence started. And I remember my mother coming to me one evening with 2 swords, and she says, from tonight your sister will sleep in the same room, and you have these 2 swords, and if you are attacked, defend yourself to your maximum ability, and if you feel that you are failing, kill your sister and then kill yourself.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
But have you ever gone back to Lahore, to Pakistan after partition?
No.
You never had a desire to go there again?
No.
Mr. Gill, you came from a very prominent family from Punjab. Your father was an engineer. Your move into the IPS, was it just incidental, or you qualified into the services and you happened to be given IPS?
I took the exam. IPS was my first choice.
So you wanted to be a cop?
I wanted to.
So you thought cops are the ones who matter in this part of the country, so that's where you should
no,
your calling.
Cops matter all over the world.
In the police, Mr. Gill, you got into you were allotted the SM cadre, and you got into numerous controversies there. I think one of the controversies which I vividly remember was that you were accused of kicking a demonstrator to death. Did that actually happen?
No, that was a lie. But the lies in Punjab were bigger than the lies in Assam.
In Punjab, one of the controversies you were embroiled in was relating to a lady officer, an IAS officer. You were accused of slapping her backside. Now, what had happened actually? Did you have a drink too many, or was that cooked up, or what really happened?
This lady wanted, I think, to make some publicity out of it, and my dear friend Ribeiro had become very, very jealous after Black Thunder. And he also, I think, played a role which was not very healthy.
On that particular day, you were under a lot of tension. I think you had returned from some kind of an operation and encounter which had actually taken place.
No, the tension was for something else. The tension was that this party, which was given by the
then Home Secretary or
the Home Secretary, was for the shooting down of a terrorist. And I could not imagine or this thing that there could be a party for an occasion like this. I had been constantly called, and so I went for a short while. And I left the party early also. I went late, I left early, and in that this incident took place. Well, that is now in 1988, and
but it stuck with you, it kind of still sticks with you, that incident. No?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
From Punjab, you went into various other roles. I think in 2006 you were appointed the advisor to the Chhattisgarh government. But you came away a disappointed man. What happened?
Chhattisgarh was disappointing because the administration and the political setup was unable to comprehend the dimensions of this problem. I remember I gave them about a large number of proposals, and on the one proposal which I gave was based on my Punjab experience, that when you don't have the ranks which you require, then promote men into that, suitable men into those ranks. For 1 year a debate was going on over it.
But now you dealt with Chhattisgarh, you've seen what happened in Andhra Pradesh, you've seen what happened in Jharkhand. Out of all these states which are battling the Maoist Naxalite violence, which is the state which has been able to kind of fathom a proper response?
I think to some extent Andhra, others no. But I'm very happy to know that what I had suggested, that the local police must deal with this problem. The present DG of Chhattisgarh, he realizes that, and they are building up the local police to tackle the problem, because CRPF, BSF, those are outside forces.
They are alien to the problem. Now certain states have been raising their own kind of strange forces. We had Salva Jadum in one of the places, Ikwanis in J&K. Do you think there is need for such forces to take on the terrorists?
I think the mistake they've made in Salva Jadum or these is to give them a defensive, an offensive force role. Once they have an offensive role, then things go wrong.
What about Kashmir? You've been watching the situation in Kashmir for a long time. What is the answer to the problem that prevails there?
First of all, gear up the local police force. Secondly, have a consistency in policy. Every day there is a change, a shift in stance, and some of it is uncalled for, some of it is demoralizing for the forces.
So a long-standing, consistent policy is what you advocate.
Yes.
You've been recommending a book called Green Mansions, written by, I think it was a novel written way back in 1904 by Hudson. What is it that you recommend in that book?
What the forest is and how it should be treated and how the people of the forest should be treated is something which we as a nation have not understood.
But that's interesting. You recommend a novel to deal with the real life situation.
I think it has another dimension to it. Some of the issues raised there seem to me to be very parallel to what communities in the forest areas are facing now. And both the Naxalites and the state are making a mess of it.
When you initially came to Punjab after Operation Blue Star, did you kind of get a sense that the situation was quite hopeless? I remember you mentioning that even Operation Blue Star itself was a big disaster.
Operation Blue Star, I mean the whole period leading up to Operation Blue Star was a disaster. You couldn't move in Punjab, the roads were blocked. Every Sikh was a terrorist, every Sikh was being searched. The 82 Asian Games were there, and passing through Haryana was I mean,
quite a nightmare.
Yeah, it was very sad state.
You were checked a couple of times.
Not a couple of times, any number of times. And just because some idiots had said that we will raise the slogans of Khalistan during the Asian Games. So what would happen if